Thanks to the support as a channel member, Simon. Just how frazzled does my hair look right now? I have recorded so many videos today. Goodness me. It's like 10:30 in the evening. I never record this late. Start the new season better be worth it. Hello and welcome to part 69 of Bourne in the USA. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have our first two games as a professional football club. First two games in Tier 5 in the US National League Premier Division. And we're at home against Inter Miami Academy and Chattanooga, who I guess must have come up with us last year. Unless there's two Chattanoogas. Have we got a double Chattanooga situation? So there's a Chattanooga there. And they're literally both called Chattanooga. How are we supposed to keep up with anything in this ridiculous country? The pre-season media thing thinks we're going to finish 17th place. Obviously, we don't have anyone in the media Dream 11. And my backroom staff, after all the transfers we did in yesterday's episode, are even suggesting we don't play Jorge Hernandez, which is mad. We've ruined team cohesion with a gazillion new players. I think we do have a squad of players with the ability to stay up. It's just whether they're going to gel quickly enough and whether I figure out what to do with them quickly enough to stay up. But this is the team that we're sending out there for the first day at Tier 5. And there's three players who were here last year. Llewellyn, Huyan and Hernandez are the only veterans from our promotion last year. It's when you know you're doing it right. So we've got Perkinson in goal. Evans would be our normal goalkeeper, but he got injured towards the end of pre-season. Isn't fit enough to start for us today. So Perkinson in goal. A back four of Llewellyn, new boys Morgan and Perez, and new boy Pamenta at right back. Vinicius and Austin Fitzhugh in central midfield. And then Johnson on the left, Huyan on the right, and then Jorge Hernandez up front with Kevin Johnson, who between the two of them last year in the division below, Johnson got 29 goals. Hernandez got 43 goals. Huyan got about 20 goals. So what's that? An 85 goal front three with this guy in there to just see what he can come up with. I don't know if he's, experience wise, he's never been one for goals, but for context, that was football that he was playing at a much higher level. He's played a full season, the league above us in US League 2 previously, when he was even younger than he is now. That's usually how the past works. So I think we've got a really, really solid team. But this season, we are in a league absolutely chock full of academies. Obviously, Inter Miami are a big boy club. They're in the Premier League, presumably. Let's have a look at their affiliated clubs. Inter Miami, they're a Premier League team managed by Neil Lennon, apparently. And this is their academy. So they're going to have a lot of good players on loan. They're going to be the equivalent of if we were able to get players on loan from Bourne Town, which we can't yet. So there's a chance we're going to be outclassed. Let's hope we're not. I have no idea how this is likely to go. Interestingly, the three players who aren't fit enough to play the full game are the three that are veterans from last year. Are they still on part-time contracts? Because that's probably why. Everyone else is training full-time. And these boys are still on part-time contracts. Yeah, he's still part-time. The three of them are still part-time with a bunch of full-time players. We probably need to deal with that, although they can't have pay rises because we've spent all our money. So I'm going to have to ask Jorge Hernandez to give up his day job as a postman to go full-time on £110 a week. If you'd scored 200 goals for a football club and fired them up the league pyramid, you'd probably say no to that suggestion, wouldn't you? So I guess he stays part-time. Johnson then drifting out onto the left-hand side. Cross comes in looking for Hernandez. Kev gets one up over quick pick. Once again, you don't count this man out. He's even playing in a role he's never really played for us before. He's playing as the target man. Previously, he's always been the poacher. His best position, supposedly, has always been target man. So he might become an even better player for us this year. But he's off the mark in Tier 5. Jorge Hernandez is just a ridiculous revelation. He's going to do it again here, isn't he? Free kick from just inside the D, very central. he can stick this in from here, it's going to be a very, very good free kick. Jorge Hernandez missed it. He's only gone and missed it. Goodness me. But we're still 1-0 up and Hernandez still has his goal. So we're still great. Huyan, let's see if he can make the step up to this level. Lays it off to Parmenter, his new full-time colleague. Lovely cross from him. Deep cross. Looking for Johnson. And then Johnson does come in off the left-hand side from the cross from Huyan. We're 2-0 up. We're going up as champions, boys and girls. I was worried about this game. Didn't need to worry. We're going to be great. We're going up again. People were saying there's going to be another 15 years of this save. We were talking about this on Twitch the other night. By the way, you should be watching me on Twitch. I stream there a lot. Twitch.tv/LOLLUJO. But we were talking about this on Twitch the other night. About which series is likely to finish sooner. We don't know how hard this pyramid is going to be as we move up it. We might have done the hard part of the US pyramid by now. It might all be smooth sailing from here. We might do back-to-back promotions, then win the league, and we're done. That could conceivably happen quicker than us winning the Champions League with home in the other series. And then we've just conceded a goal like that. And I should probably stop talking to you about how we're going to win the Premier League in 5 years. Maybe we won't. Maybe we're not quite at that level yet. I am very much looking forward to the day when we can start taking players on loan from Bourne. At that point, surely we just start ruining everybody. Have we caught up with the San Diego Gauchos again? I feel like, or were they with us last year? I feel like that's a team that we've spent a lot of time with over the years. Didn't they take Sullivan from us a few years ago? I feel like they threw money at us at some point in the past. Is there any other teams we've spent time with in the past? I mean, it's difficult to know because we don't know, like with the Chattanooga situation, there could be multiple teams with the same name because the United States football pyramid is crazy, as we keep discovering. But it's the ball forward from Inter, and they are coming at us here, and we could do with a lovely... I mean, Vinicius is going to be so important doing that this year, playing as that ball-winning midfielder. We've not had a proper ball-winning midfielder since the days of Goncalves in our midfield, and I think it's something we definitely need this year. I would like a playmaker alongside him, but if we can't have one, at least we've got him in there crunching into people like he's done there. Hernandez just dropped deep to just do some link-up play. It's not something we're used to seeing from Jorge Hernandez, but he did a good job of it. Llewellyn now pushing forward on the overlap. Cross comes in, looking for Huyan, who nods it down for Hernandez. And Hernandez has his second goal of the day. Very, very unselfish from Huyan. We've seen him score for himself from that situation many, many times in the past, but it was almost easier to take the shot on himself, but he's played it back to Hernandez. I mean, those two have got an understanding, haven't they? 3-1 to Bourne. I'm enjoying myself. Where's the doohickey at the bottom of the screen gone? Why did that disappear? That was weird. Right. What are we going to do substitution-wise? We've got a couple of players to have a look at, Takada and Gerard, then a couple of veterans. So I'm actually going to bring on Ben Ryan because I want to get him in there playing as the playmaker and see how that works as a partnership alongside Vinicius. And you know what? Jeff Brook deserves some time, a little bit of a run out at this level. And we're going to bring on Takada as... Oh, we can't bring on Takada. But Takada's under 21, surely? Or does 21 not count as under 21? So, I guess 21 is not under 21. Okay. I would like to see the rule book, please. In that case, we'll bring Gerard on at the back and we'll try him at right back. 20 minutes to go. Then I was going to stick Hernandez back into being the poacher and put Takada in as the target man, but I'm not going to take Hernandez off when he's on a hat-trick and his first game at a new level. You've got to give the man an opportunity to prove that he is still... He's still the man around here. This is still Jorge Hernandez's house. Star ratings mean nothing. Jorge Hernandez will score goals, and apparently so will Kevin Johnson. 4-1 now to Bourne, and we've got a collection of goal scorers to go along with Hernandez and Huyan. This might finally spell the end of Stephen Stone, who we gave a new 3-year contract to in the summer. That was probably a little bit hasty, giving him 3 years. Probably should have just given him 1 extra year, But he's been given a 3-year contract, so that would put him to, if he sees out that contract, Stone would have been here 11 years by the end of his contract. I suspect he's probably not going to make it to the end of the contract based on what we're seeing here. Nothing to suggest that Stone isn't good enough, but we've signed a lot of players who appear on first inspection to be even better than he is. So I think he's probably going to go the way of Jackson Hernandez this season. Johnson now on the left-hand side as we look to add a 5th goal. Llewellyn's in a crossing position now, looking for Johnson. Johnson's lurking and Johnson grabs his 2nd of the game as well. Oh, have we got one of those strike partnerships? I would love to have a strike partnership where they're just trying to outscore each other all season. That would be phenomenal. 5-1 now to Bourne. And people say don't sign too many players, don't do too many debuts in one go. Means nothing. As long as they're happy, as long as they're motivated, it's all good. Club team cohesion, all that stuff, poppycock. Just keep them happy. We've kept them happy. It doesn't matter that they don't know each other. And most of them don't speak American English yet, just pesky English, so they can't understand each other even. This goalkeeper's a little bit questionable. He's been beaten from long range twice now, but luckily he's only our reserve goalkeeper. He's not someone that we're intending on relying on all season, because we could do without a keeper who's going to consistently get beaten by stuff like that, because that shouldn't be going in there. But we're now up the other end looking for a 6th. Who's it going to be? Hernandez or Johnson? Vinicius missing out on the tackle. That's the first tackle in midfield I've seen him miss today. But I think that was Perez came across and just dealt with the problem for him and just snuffed it out. Jeff Brook with the lunging tackle in there, and the subsequent shot ends up going wide, which is just as well, because we know pretty much if they have a shot against this goalkeeper, it ends up in the back of the net, as they've shown again there. 5-3 with about 5 minutes left. I really hope we're not messing this up for me. I don't think we're going to, but we have been the better team. Into Miami have had 3 shots on target and scored 3 times. Really not a roaring, raving review for this goalkeeper. Roaring, raving review. That's not even a thing. Ryan missing out on the ball in midfield. He looks a little bit off the pace since he's been on. Ball over the top. Does that count as a shot? Because Perkinson actually saved it, which is a little bit of a novelty for him. Johnson brings the ball down well. And turns. Have we got 2 Johnsons? Oh, for goodness sake. We've got Johnson up front. The shampoo. We've had the Hernandez. Now we've got shampoo. Johnson and have you seriously allowed me to sign Johnson and Johnson? And I've only just noticed as the match is going on. So one of the Johnsons is in. We've gone from the Hernandez to the Johnsons, and Huyan has got his first goal at this level as well. He's not going to be outdone by all these Johnsons we've got knocking around the place. 6-3 now to Bourne. There's going to be goals in this season by the looks of it. We're not very good at defending, but we're just as good as we've ever been at scoring goals. We set a club record last year for only drawing 2 games. I suspect there's not going to be a lot of draws this year either, because the amount of goals that are going to go in at either end, there's going to be results in most of these games, I suspect. But that is about as perfect a start as you could look for in a new division. And it's one of my most legendary scorelines, 6-3. If you're an old school LOLLUJO viewer, you know how often we used to do 6-3s back in the Ipswich days. It was the calling card. Right, we play Chattanooga now, hopefully grabbing a 2nd victory. We had 1,000 people nearly turn up for that game. Bourne are going places. Right, we just fiddled with the midfield and defence situation a little bit for the 2nd game. I like the idea of having a playmaker in there, so I'm going to get Austin Fitzhugh to do it as a defensive playmaker, defensive mentality playmaker. Bring Gomez back in as box-to-box and try Vinicius at centre-back. We've got the massive flexibility of Vinicius being able to play any of these positions. I liked him as a ball-winning midfielder, but I might like having a playmaker in there more. We shall see. Let's submit this team. It also gives us a chance to give Gustavo Gomez a run out at this level, another veteran of last year's team. Right, pick up where you left off last time out. We want goals again, please, boys and girls. And I need to deal with this Johnson & Johnson situation. I'm not entirely sure how to. I've got to just terminate one of the loans. I can't cope with it. The Hernandez was fine. Johnson & Johnson, ridiculous. Unless we could get them on as a sponsor. Interesting. Right, Hernandez has got a corner, an in-swinger looking for lurkers at that near post. There's nobody there, and it ends up with Huyan on the edge of the area, who plays it back to Gomez. We've seen Gomez hit them from range before, but one of the Johnsons has scored. I think this is Wide Johnson. He's the left winger, isn't he? C. Johnson. We've got C. Johnson and K. Johnson. Ridiculous. But I'm pretty sure he's the winger, C. Johnson. Huyan playing it across to Gomez. Gomez, nice little through ball for Johnson, and he grabs the goal. 1-0 to us. Chattanooga, I think, won their first game as well. So this would be... oh, goodness me, this goalkeeper's not very good. We need the other guy to get fit quick. I mean, to be honest, he kept a hold of it for the second attempt, but he did previously just palm it straight into the path of on-rushing attackers. He's made another save there, I think, unless that's one of the defenders helping him out. Morgan's sat there on a 7 at the moment, so I suspect it might have been him with a goal-saving block. And now Perkinson out, clutching the cross out of the sky. Maybe Perkinson's just having a very good game, and I've judged him a little bit too harshly, a little bit too soon, because I think he's made some saves here today, which is certainly more than he did in that last game. Llewellyn now with a free kick just before half-time, likely to be the last move before half-time. Fitzhugh plays it through to Johnson, and now the other Johnson scored. Chris Austin Fitzhugh working as the playmaker, as the chance creator, slotting it through to Johnson, and the Johnsons are outshining the remaining Hernandez at the moment. Although, to be fair, Hernandez is sat there on a 7.3, so it's not that he's having a bad game. He's just not got a goal yet, and he's still averaging a goal a game for this season. It's just K. Johnson. What is his name? It's Kevin. I'm going to look like a buffoon for not remembering. But he's got 3 in 2 now, hasn't he? So he looks like he is the real deal, and probably one of the favourites to be our top scorer for this season already. Do we think he's going to outscore Hernandez? Oh, a shot from range. Did Perkinson have it covered? Luckily it missed. It is Kevin Johnson. His name is actually Kevin. I forgot the word Kevin. Fantastic. So it's Kevin and Chris. Okay, we might just start calling them Kevin and Chris rather than Johnson and Johnson. Just change his name completely. We just have Kevin up front with Hernandez. Everybody's dream partnership. Right, it is a throw for Chattanooga. They're not giving up here. They are getting highlights. They're just not really creating very much with them. C. Johnson playing it forward, looking for K. Johnson, and doesn't find him. And it's going to be Chattanooga to try and counter our counter, but it falls to Vinicius, who we've not really noticed. I mean, I've not really noticed anything from him. I guess that's not necessarily a bad thing for a centre-back. It means he's not made any major mistakes, but it did feel like he was really breaking up some of this midfield play in the previous match, whereas today the opponents are having a lot more time in those areas where Vinicius was making an impact. So I suspect we're likely to go back to him playing in midfield for the next game. That's what I'm leaning towards at the moment. But like equally, if he's not going to put a foot wrong playing centre back, it's going to be hard to not play him there. I think the thing we've got with Vinicius is he's likely to be the best player on the pitch, whichever position he plays in. He's a 4.5 star player who's completely natural centre back, centre mid, and defensive midfielder, and he's going to look better than anyone else in any of those positions. We've got to decide where we've got better backups, I guess. Or we need to clone him. Maybe we can clone him. We've got 2 Johnsons. We had 2 Hernandezes. Maybe we can have 2 Viniciuses. Maybe that's the answer. Right. Substitution o'clock. I think I am going to move Vinicius forward again. And we've got 2 bookings in the midfield. They do seem to be struggling to get the tackles in. So let's get him back in there as a ball-winning midfielder. We'll take off Austin Fitzhugh, who is one of our young players. So we're probably not going to be able to bring... Hold on. I've just brought the wrong player on. How many have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we can just make the change. So we'll bring Perez on for him. He can come in at the back there. And then I think we're going to take off Huyan. I want to bring on Takada. We're going to stick Hernandez out onto the wing. I know you love it when I do that, but I want to see Takada and see what he can offer us. And then Valdez is another winger. We might bring him on in central midfield. Bring him on for Gomez. Can he play as a playmaker? as well as he can do anything else. So we'll do that in there. And we are slowly but surely having a look at all of these players that we brought in over the summer and working out who we can use. One thing we've never really had before in this save is options. And I think we've probably got maybe a squad of 18 players, all of which can be used now. Substitutions are a thing we can do. We've spent years not really making substitutions unless we had to for fitness reasons. We've not really had backup players. Maybe we should have gone way over the budget years ago. Johnson's in here, and that's a terrible follow-up for his opportunity for his 4th goal of the season already. Screwed it well wide. It remains 2-0. We were top of the league briefly, but Ocean City have jumped above us. But you know what? 2 wins from 2, 8 goals scored. I know they were 2 home games, but that is a pretty good start to life in Tier 5, life as a professional football club. We will be back on, what day is it? Thursday, isn't it? So we'll be back tomorrow, and we will probably be back somewhere in here. I quite fancy playing Arsenal USA because we signed a few players from them this summer. So we'll perhaps do Jacksonville and Arsenal USA in tomorrow's episode. That gives us like half a dozen or so matches before we get there as well. And we'll also know how we're getting on in the early rounds of the US Open Cup. Why are we still having to do a second qualifying round? We're in Tier 5, for goodness sake. When are we going to have? When do we not have to qualify for that thing anymore? We just want the money, because money is a disaster at the moment for us. That's the most overdrawn we've been since we were in administration years ago. That might be coming again this year. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.